Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin?
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Colin.
Hi, it's Cadence.
My throat just made a little froggy noise.
When little air goes like...
Yes, it's like, you probably couldn't hear it, but it's like, welcome back to our own personal Twilight Saga hell.
It really is.
Oh, boy.
The vampires are stuck in limbo, and so are we.
Oh, I feel like I'm in a limbo. We are back at it again with our fifth episode of Twilight, because we love just stretching this out as long as we can.
We just can't get enough.
This is the third movie in the Twilight Saga, the Hell Saga that we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't heard our other 4 episodes on the first, you know what? It doesn't even matter at this point. The story doesn't. You can literally listen to any of these episodes and it'll be about the same.
You know what? You won't miss a thing. It'll be the same before and after and right in the middle. So it's up to you, but they're good.
We're doing Eclipse today, which is the third book in the series. And I actually thought the third book was Breaking Dawn, part 1 and 2.
Oh,
so
I see.
I got a little surprised when I learned there's actually 5 movies instead of 4. And
you were like,
boy, oh
wowza.
boy. We were just talking about it earlier. And I get the first movie a little bit, kind of like teen angst, cool girl moves to town, falls in love with hot vampire. Kind of get it.
Right.
Second movie, I'm like, okay, it's basically the same as the first movie, but you throw in Jacob a little bit more. So now you're getting this little love triangle. Third movie, Eclipse. Wow.
Oh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hold on to your fucking hats.
We get Civil War flashbacks. We get
Native
1940s
American
flashbacks. We get Native
Origin of
American
Vampire.
Council flashbacks. We get vampires walking through bodies of water. We get it all.
Jasper's backstory, Victoria's backstory, Alice's backstory, deeper into all of what they can do. It just turns into a big jumble of nonsense. Like, they tried to go too hard with the lore, I guess, which I was asking for last time, and I got it.
You were like, I can't get enough of the lore, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, did you say you can't get enough lore?
Here's
because
a bunch
we
of
have
fucking
a
lore.
shit ton of lore.
I was like, whoa, too much. I can't keep up with all the lore.
Too much lore.
Civil War, what? Native American, what's going on? Slow down with the lore right now.
Just imagine standing in front of a fire hose that fire trucks use to put out fires.
Yeah.
But instead of water, it's lore.
Exactly. First, I was hoping I had a little water hose trickle on me at first, and I was like, give me more lore. And they just, wow.
I'm thirsty for lore. And then you were like, no, I'm drowning in lore.
Too much lore. Oh, it goes
too
way
much lore.
off the rails. Because we always, obviously, Cadence and I love to, really dive into each and every tiny little aspect of the movie.
We do.
There were so many things that don't make sense. They tried to give you so much lore they need to do like a web of lore to see if their lore makes sense.
Someone needs to just have a chart of the lore and be like, okay, does this lore correspond with this
you would
lore?
think they would have hired someone to do that.
Sense?
That someone would be like, if we make this drastic claim, does it affect any of the back lore that we've done? They're like, you know what? Just go for it. Free for all.
No one will remember that drastic claim.
Just keep going.
We're like 5 hours deep in this.
They don't care. Oh, Alice can do this. Alice can show up in her visions now. Just do it. Doesn't matter. Go for it. Voltari doesn't live in Italy anymore. Go for it. Yep. Do it. Yes.
The Volturi travels across the continent and still wearing their 18th century garb. Did they fly in those clothes?
Do it. Approved. Check. Jasper's the youngest vampire of the group, but he was also killed in the Civil War. Check.
Somehow Meanwhile, Victoria's newborn army has Bella's shirt and they're passing it around for her scent. Check.
And also,
Don't ask how she got the shirt. Don't ask how she got the shirt.
Also, Alice can tell that it's Bella's specific shirt through her visions because I guess her scent is so strong that through her visions,
Even
she's
it
like,
translates
you know what?
through the visions.
My visions can also smell and detect exactly whose shirt that is. But
Yep.
we are getting ahead of ourselves with the lore.
Is it really on Stephenie Meyer's shoulders? My guess is, with how convoluted it is, that the books were also this. There's
you
no
know
way the
Stephenie,
books were not
she
this
didn't-
convoluted.
yeah.
It feels like she started writing it and was like, "Where am I going to go with this?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then just started kind of throwing shit at the wall and was like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
She did the
Well,
opposite.
sorry. Oh yeah.
She didn't write and go, where am I going to go with this? She wrote and then was like, I'm going to put something down. How do I make this connect? Doesn't matter. And she like did the exact opposite of storytelling.
You're right.
She just gives you the ending and everything right then and there, and you got to figure it out.
You know what I just heard? That there's actually a new Twilight book coming out.
Oh,
And
boy.
it's going to be, okay, so you know how in the last movie, New Moon, Edward is gone because he white fangs Bella and he leaves for most of the
little
movie?
Italy getaway. Yep. How could I forget?
This new book is written from the perspective of Edward while he's gone.
Oh,
and you should read all
God.
about his
Oh, I can't
adventures.
wait to hear what's going on in Edward's mind. Jesus. Can't wait. He's like, should I spy on Bella today? Should my spirit go tell Bella today to get off the motorcycle, or do I wait?
Bella.
Do I show up in a vision at our movies, or...
His whole thing is planned around when he shows up. He's like, well, with the time change, I'm in Europe, so there's some
It's 8
difference
p.m. here.
time-wise.
It's only 2 p.m. there, which means she'll probably be in school. So
If
probably can't
I show up as
then.
a ghost, she'll be asleep. So
Maybe I show up at a ghost in biology class. Maybe I show her how to deflect that frog.
it's gonna be so stupid. But I hope they make a movie and, of course, cast someone else because Robert Pattinson can't do it. But I will watch it and we will cover it if that is what happens.
Oh, at this point, I want to hear Jessica's story, her whole backstory. I want to hear how she got to be valedictorian.
Emo Eric.
Emo Eric, give it to me. I want to know, Sam, what happened with your wife, dude? Was it a domestic
Yeah.
dispute, or did you turn into a werewolf too fast?
Yes. Give me more information. What happened? There's a whole opportunity for like a whole series of books beyond Twilight that she could just expound on everybody's backstory.
I think that'd be really
like
good. I think she'd
be
do
great.
really good at it too. And I think she should just go for it and actually just, when anyone brings up any like contradictions, just be like, nope, this is a whole different universe, and this is how it happens in this universe. Sorry.
I think that's the only way that you can do it is just be like, sorry, that's just how it is. I don't
Sorry.
control it. It's
That's
just
how
what
it is. I don't know. Everyone wants Bella. That's just how it is. And this movie keeps in with that theme, number one, where everybody's still
Yes.
after Bella. So
Yes.
let's give you a quick summary of this stupid movie, and then we'll dive in.
All right. So if we were gonna quickly summarize Twilight Eclipse, we would tell you
There's no way to summarize this.
that there's absolutely no way to summarize it.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
let me try. Okay, Edward has proposed to Bella at the end of the last movie, right? This whole movie is about the push and pull of will they, won't they? Will she say yes to the marriage proposal? Will she not? So you got that whole thing going on.
And Jacob's hardcore involved.
And Jacob inserts himself into that. And then you've got this whole love triangle dragged out. And then on top of the love triangle, you have an army of newborn vamps that are amassing to come to Forks and wage battle on the Cullens. And the Cullens and the werewolves form an alliance for that battle. So that's the best I can do.
Pretty good.
Doesn't make any sense, but that's the best I can do.
They decided to put a lifelong, like, anger, like, war aside.
For Bella.
It's for Bella. The biggest part of that summary is that everybody's after Bella.
Oh, everybody. Yeah.
Everybody still wants Bella. She's still as charismatic as always. And now she's got a newborn vamp army after her because it's Bella.
God, she is magnetic. Love her. Absolutely love her. What do we really know about Bella at all besides she's clumsy and she Googles things? And we still don't know. Like, this movie still doesn't do anything for us. We don't know anything
Character
about what she
development
likes
is-
or enjoys or what her hobbies are, her inner life. Nothing.
Well, her baby cactus. We do know she loves her baby cactus. And she likes fighting movies.
That's true. She likes baseball.
But it's true, like, I still don't know anything about any of these characters. None. There's no character development. I have now given hours, 6, almost, what is it? 8 hours of my life now to these movies.
Yeah.
And these characters mean nothing to me. Just like when I first got introduced to them.
Because they all only exist in relation to each other. So it's like they only get together and talk about each other.
About what they're going to do with each other and how they can't be with each other when they're going to see each other again.
Yes, with or without each other, with other people, when they're going to see each other again, the last time they saw each other. That's all they talk about. We don't know anything else that they even worry about or think about or are interested in at all. It's wild to me that these movies are 2 hours long, and even more wild to me that we record 4 hours worth of content for movies that are 2 hours long.
It's so stupid. I know.
So
we're like hot calling the kettle black here. We're just going on. Okay, so we're going to start off. We are in Seattle. It's a rainy night, of course it is. And we've got some...
Of course.
Of course, it's Seattle. Duh. We got some little lonely guy just feeling a little bit nervous that people are like around his corner, you know, doing that whole like, what?
It's dark. It's rainy. He's like, I'm in a city that I feel uncomfortable. Am I safe? He gets startled. Here's the important part, though. You don't see what gets him because something jumps out and gets him.
Creature cam.
But it doesn't. It's totally creature cam, and it doesn't show it. You're supposed to infer, I suppose, that it's vampires because you're like, I don't think they'd be introducing a whole other character or species at this point. But you don't know because you don't find out for a while. You just live in the mystery. What pops out of the corner and gets this guy in Seattle? But don't worry. This is not just a fly-by-night, one-night stand death. You meet this guy again.
Oh, you for sure meet him again.
Just hold on to your hats.
What do you want?
So after that little prelude, we get back. We get another beautiful monologue from Bella.
Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice.
Fire, ice, I choose fire.
It's a famous poem because everything Stephanie Meyers puts in these books are like the most well-known poems, plays, or classical pieces of music.
I've never heard of Romeo and Juliet. You take that back. I've never heard of Romeo and Juliet until last movie.
There's this teeny tiny play called Romeo and Juliet.
And they're not even subtle about it. It's just like, it's like she's literally sleeping in front of a book, Romeo and Juliet, and then the whole movie is about Romeo and Juliet. Like, it's like the same. It's not really foreshadowing. It's just kind of telling you what the movie's going to be about.
The whole thing is always overstated. So they're back in that field, guys.
Oh, God.
We have been to this field so many times.
And I died they're just talking. Literally, it's like this. Bella, marry me. No. Bella, marry me. No.
Marry me.
No,
Marry me.
change me.
Okay, I will if you marry me.
Marriage is just, it's a piece of paper.
Just marry me.
I can't.
And it goes on for 30 damn minutes. It's so awful.
And she's like, you know that like most marriages end in divorce, right? And he's like,
Well, I think you'll find the vampire human divorce rate is a little lower.
not for vampires. Yeah,
We vampires, we get married for the rest of eternity. That's what we do because we can't die.
Yeah, and this is also like, remember how I told you last time the whole like controlling your lust was like a very Mormon theme? That also pops up here because he marries her for eternity. Like he won't have sex with her until he gets married to her. And then when they get married, they're going to be married for eternity. And that's why vampires don't get divorced because it's eternal marriage. It is absolute Mormon to the maximum.
I was going to say, we just lied. We do get to know a little bit more about Edward's morals.
Earthly human marriages might have a high divorce rate, but vampire divorce rates are pretty much non-existent because they're eternal marriages. You're married forever. You're married forever.
Well, we saw with the Cullen family. We know that they're just, Carlisle and his wife.
You lock up and you do not part.
You just keep making kids, taking them to high school, doing your thing.
Which makes it, to me, I'm like, I don't understand if there's like a certain thing that happens to you when you get married as a vampire that you're just like forever tied to that person. Is it a ceremony that you can't get a divorce if you wanted to? You're just
that'd
trapped.
Be really like a downside to being a vampire. Like I would think that you would just
sounds suffocating.
Yeah. I would think a vampire would never, ever want to get married, ever. But not Edward.
And she's just like, because she's a cool girl, Colin. Other girls want to get married and they fantasize about their weddings and they're like lovey-dovey. And she's just like, not me. I don't want to get married. Marriage is just a piece of paper. Marriage is just something you do when you get knocked up. Like, she's just too cool to get married.
And he's like, there is one thing that's going to change your mind, Bella. I'm not going to boink you until we're married. I was like, are you kidding, Edward? Are you kidding? Why does that even matter? Why?
Colin, he's old-fashioned.
Vampire lore.
He's an old-fashioned vampire. He's not going to do anything that would hurt her. Also, he's so powerful. He just barely learned to control his lust for her. So he doesn't want to break her in half.
Yeah. When you get married, vampire married, the sex after is so much better. I bet. That's probably what it is. Once you get that, like, arrangement or whoever announces you man and wife for the rest of eternity, sex is just out of control. And if you have sex before you get married, you'll never have good sex after you get married. It ruins that, I think. That's what it is. I think the vampires don't allow that.
And they're like, if you want to continue to have good sex for eternity, you just have to wait till this arbitrary thing happens.
Certificate in hand.
Kind of like the whole reservation, the lands that are arbitrary, like that whole thing. Just apply that to vampire marriages. Once some random person signs a piece of paper and you're legally married in front of the eyes of not God, because your soul is damned, so he don't give a shit, but definitely some kind of official person.
Maybe the Volturi. Maybe they care. We don't know.
Maybe that's part of it. The Volturi has to be the witness. It's like a ceremony at the castle in Italy. It's a whole thing. Deal. But once that happens, you're good to go. Sex all the time. Best sex ever.
And Bella's starting to think. She's like, well, maybe I do want to get married. Like, she starts getting in her head. She's like, you know what? I think it's coming more realistic for me to get married now after hearing this little bit of information.
If you didn't remember this, you probably did, but if you didn't, at the end of the last movie, he goes, marry me, and then she just like goes, and you don't ever hear the answer. So when we open this movie, he's still asking her, you guys. He's desperate at this point. But they have to cut their field romp to a close because it is time for Bella to get home. Because you guys, because when she gets home, her dad's like,
4 o'clock on the dot. That kid trying to brown nose me now or something? You understand why you're being punished, right?
You know why I grounded you, right? And I'm like, Charlie, this girl has run away from home twice and not told you where she was going.
She got on a plane back to Phoenix, dude. She got on a plane back to Phoenix
a plane to Italy? Didn't tell anyone she was going to Italy.
You're not grounding her for anything, Charlie.
Charlie's imaginary world in which he has any control over Bella is sweet, but it's not real, friend. I don't know what you think is happening here. She will leave whenever she darn well pleases.
And this is where we get to know a little bit more about Charlie, because he clearly does not like Edward, because he's like, Bella, sweetheart.
I have other reasons for grounding you. Like, I just want you to get some separation from him. So, all right, how about this? I'll make you a deal. You're not grounded anymore if you use your newfound freedom to see some of your other friends, too. Like Jacob. He's going through a really tough time right now. His dad's really worried about him. I remember when that was you.
You need to do something with this free time that I'm giving you, and I think you need to go see Jacob. That's what I think you need to do.
He's like, well, on one hand, I am grounding you because you flew to Italy and didn't tell anybody and I thought you were dead. You also told me I was a piece of shit and you didn't want to be stuck with me like your mom was. But I'm going to set that aside and just tell you that part of the reason also is that it's going to provide you with all this extra time to see your other friends. And when I say other friends, I mean friends like Jacob, because he's having a really hard time right now. And Charlie makes a fair point here. He's like, Jacob was there for you when you were screaming in the middle of the night, waking up with convulsions, having the worst time of your life. So the least you could do is show up for Jacob.
I guess you're right, Dad.
I guess you're right. But then what happens when she gets in the car to go see him?
You guys, this is where red flags all over the screen.
Yeah, we should preface this whole movie with like, Edward steps into full creep territory. So Colin's saying red flags. This whole movie's full of them. Nonstop flag after flag after flag after flag. He is full-fledged creep, stalker, jealous, petty bitch Edward.
That's what you do when you're a vampire, though.
Vampires are like that. They're like that.
But she cannot freaking go to the reservation in her old beat-up cool girl truck because Edward literally clearly did something to it. And he gets in the truck with her.
You scared me.
You going down that reservation?
How did you... Alice. Hey, did you do this to my truck?
Bella, you have to understand. Your safety is everything to me.
Jacob's not gonna hurt me.
Not intentionally, but the wolves have no control.
Edward?
Were you going to the reservation? And she's like, how did you know? And then it clicks. Alice.
Oh, Alice.
Oh, Alice, you and your weird visions.
Didn't male or demon that vision.
Because I guess Alice, I guess she could just hone in. Her visions are also very arbitrary. She's sitting there watching, American Dad, and then all of a sudden she's like, whoa, oh my gosh, Bella's going to go see Jacob at the reservation. Why would you even have that vision? Or is she, tuning in?
Yeah.
As we find out later, she can kind of do whatever the fuck she wants through her visions. It really doesn't make any sense.
You could see, really, when you think this through, she could see anything at any time.
It's not a vision at this point. It's like surveillance at this point. It's not a vision. You're, surveilling people's lives whenever you want.
Yes.
Because there's a couple things down the road where we're like, Alice, what? These aren't visions anymore, girl.
This is Patriot Act invasion of privacy situations.
So she's like, oh my God, I can't believe Alice did that. And that's when he's like, I did it to protect you. Which is no, Edward, come on, bud.
And he tells her, your safety is the only thing I ever think about. Edward, really? You're a vampire. You live forever, and the only thing you're ever thinking about is how you can protect Bella. And also, you sabotaged her engine, which, by the way, is very symbolic because that's the engine that Jacob built for her when she very first got that truck. So
that's true. That's very deep. Lots of layers.
Throw in that little poetry right there. But he's like, trust me. I'm here to protect you. I'm the only one who can do anything for you. Jacob can't do anything for you. And if I have to break your fucking truck to do it, then I will. I just love you that much, which just seems so gross.
Just ask her not to go. Just go to her room and say, hey, I really appreciate it if you didn't go.
And she's like,
I have until graduation to see him. And then I'll be one of you, and he'll hate me forever.
I'm sorry.
They have kind of a tentative deal that he's going to change her into a vampire after graduation.
She's really banking on it too. And Cadence and I were talking about this before. Nobody knows why Bella wants to be a vampire. Every single vampire is like, we're so jealous of you because you're not a vampire. And Bella, with all of her witty personality, we still don't know why the fuck she wants to be a vampire. Maybe so she can live eternally with marriage with Edward. No, it's coming. No, it's clicking. Well, she doesn't want to get married to him, though.
That's the thing that's the thing that was throwing me this whole entire movie. He's like, you want nothing more than to be a vampire, so I will turn you if you marry me. And she's like, no, I won't marry you, but I do want to be a vampire. And I love you and I want to be with you forever, but I won't marry you. If you marry me, I'll turn you. Well, I don't want to marry you, but I do want to be a vampire.
Well, then we can only have sex if we get married.
It's just this constant carousel of that same thing. She's like, listen, we have a tentative deal for you to change me into a vampire after graduation. Granted, it's tentative because she doesn't want to marry him, but she wants to be a vamp to be with him forever, but also doesn't want to marry him because marriage is dumb.
But she wants to have sex with him, but he will only have sex if they get married. So then she kind of wants to marry him.
She's like, okay, well then if that's what it takes. Yeah, it's so convoluted.
It's so stupid. Edward literally sabotages her truck, ruins the engine so that she cannot go see Jacob. And then he sits in the car with her and proceeds to tell her it's just for her protection and because he loves her so much.
I love you so much. I'm actually going to break down your car so you can't go anywhere and I'm going to isolate you from all your friends and family. Sorry.
It's because I love you. I'm going to control you and make your dad hate me and just be in your life nonstop, always spying on you because I love you. Looking at it as an adult, you're like, Jesus, that is not okay. Just have a conversation with me about it, bud.
And it gets worse. Those red flags just keep popping and they don't stop. Anyway, she's like, I have to go see Jacob at least before I graduate since that's our tentative plan. So you can't stop me forever. Next day.
So after that little awkward night, which I guess they obviously got through, because next day they're together.
Well, he has to drive her around because she doesn't have a truck. So now he's like,
I drive you around and do everything for you because I love you, not because I'm controlling you.
Serious?
But he drops her off after school at Charlie, her dad's office. And this is where we learn that the boy that Cadence and I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, little Seattle guy, he's missing. Where is he?
Yeah, and his parents are desperate to find him.
I wonder what's wrong.
Their son went missing in Seattle over a year ago. Charlie's done what he can.
They try to make this make sense with the plot because Edward can hear. He's like, he has super hearing. So Bella's like, well, what's going on in there? And he's like, oh, well, their son went missing in Seattle and there's not a whole lot Charlie can do because we're in Forks and he went missing in Seattle. But Charlie's going to do whatever he can do here in Forks, even though the kid went missing in Seattle, just so you know.
I know it's not even in their jurisdiction. They're a whole different cop unit. But
Mhm.
couldn't Edward just turn into a ghost and like show up behind his dad directly? Like, how does he choose how we want? Do we want super hearing? Do we want ghost interrupting?
Oh, true.
What do I want to do?
true.
You know, do I want to ghost eavesdrop or do I want to use my super hearing?
Yes.
Or I could use my super speed back and forth really quick and just catch little bits of the conversation.
Little bits, like translate it back and forth. So he tells Bella, he relays that there's this missing kid. And he's like, by the way,
We've been tracking the situation in Seattle for a while. Unexplained disappearances, killings. If the situation gets any more conspicuous, the Volturi will step in.
there has been a situation unfolding in Seattle for a little while now.
Hey, Bella. Hey, sweetheart.
There are kids going missing. There are a bunch of people dying. But don't worry, the Cullens have their ear to the ground. Alice has her internal eyes to the sky. They're all tracking it.
We've all got
from a
slightly different
distance.
powers and we're working together to
Mhm.
figure out what is going on in Seattle.
Yep, teamwork. So he tells her, it's a problem now, but if it gets any more conspicuous,
We'll let
the
you know.
Volturi are going to step in.
If I was Bella, I'd be like, okay, thanks for telling me
Well,
vaguely that something's going
yeah.
on. What kind of issue is this?
If they go to Seattle, they can come here. They can see I'm still human.
We won't get that far, but we'll go to Seattle if we have to.
So there is a part where Bella ends up going and seeing her mom.
So Edward says in front of Bella's dad,
Oh, Bella? My parents wanted to remind you about the airline ticket you got for your birthday.
What airline ticket?
Round trip ticket to see Mom in Florida.
Well, that was generous.
It expires soon, so you might want to use it this weekend. It might be your last chance to see her before you graduate.
Might not be a bad idea. Get out of town for a couple of days, get some distance.
As long as you use the companion ticket.
Wait, there's 2 tickets? Super. That makes me really happy.
hey, remember how I got you that plane ticket to see your mom? Remember how it might be the last time you get to see your mom before graduation? Wink, wink.
Oh, I wonder why Charlie hates Edward. I wonder why Charlie's like, fuck this dude. I hate him. Go see Jacob, please.
know.
I'll pay you $20. I'll pay you 30. Go see Jacob. Get this guy out of here.
Not that I ever identified with Bella because this was fucking stupid book and I hated it, but I can see how a teenager would be like, oh, Bella, everyone loves her. I'm Bella or whatever. But as an adult, you're looking at Charlie like he's the only sane person
Yeah.
in this entire
Yeah.
movie because this is a creepy ass bitch that's like stalking my child. He's just like, why are we doing this? This is so creepy. So anyway, Edward's like, so yeah, we've got to fly to Florida. And Charlie's like, that's actually not a bad idea. You could get the hell out of Forks and away from Edward. And Edward's like, not so fast because there's 2 tickets. And I'm going with her. I wouldn't let her out of my sight for a second.
Remember when we said red flags, you guys? Remember when he said red flags? This is where it comes out hard. And it is really funny because they go to Florida, but Edward just sits behind Bella and her mom. Bella and her mom are on the beach enjoying the sun, and Edward sits at a table in the shade behind them and just watches them. Swear to God, didn't think it was a real scene. It is.
Yep.
Doesn't talk to
Because
her,
they're like-
get to know her,
Yeah.
just creeps behind him the whole time.
This brings up your point, though, from the first movie, right? Like he's sitting in a like there's a window and it's full sun outside and he's sitting in the window. So is it like the window pane is the protection? The filter of the glass is the thing that's like
I
protecting
hope we get some
the sun
answers
from
for this soon.
sparkling?
I hope Stephanie Myers
still
gives us some
don't
answer to
know.
this lore soon. Because he is full on in Florida. He just got sunglasses on. And I'm like, yeah, it's really stupid. But she basically is talking to her mom.
She's saying goodbye. Like her mom's like, hey, I'm so glad you came to see me before graduation. The way that he's staring at you the whole time is a little unsettling.
It's giving me
It
the
seems
creeps.
a little weird, but you seem happy. And she's like, yeah, I am. So she knows that she's saying goodbye to her mom because she still has the tentative after graduation deal with Edward. Her mom just thinks she's coming to visit, whatever. It's fine. But it's really a goodbye.
Just it's a tentative goodbye because you might be a vampire, but you could still see your family
Yeah.
if you're a vamp, dude. Unless the Volturi don't want that.
Also, her cover story is that she's going to Alaska for college.
Yeah, where
she
did
chose an
Alaska come in
Alaskan
there?
college.
Bella, why are you going to Alaska?
And so that's why she's never going to come home again after that.
You said you hate cold, wet things. Why the fuck are you going to school in Alaska? Doesn't make any sense. And you never go to high school anyway, so are you going to graduate? Anyway, we can't get too wrapped up in it.
Point being, she says goodbye. So this whole movie is her sort of like acknowledging she has to let go of her old life. That's all we're trying to say.
Because for whatever reason, she wants to be a vampire. So I guess maybe meanwhile, not in Florida, we have the Cullen family just out in their casual all black vampire family outing.
Their casual business
Their casual
attire.
business attire. And this is where a lot of questions come out with, again, the werewolf chef vampire lore. They're chasing Victoria like hardcore, right?
Are you sure this is where you saw her?
She's almost here.
On your left! She'll get away!
No, she won't!
And then all of a sudden, Carlisle's like,
Wait! She's in their territory.
Emmett, don't. That's their territory. Meaning the werewolves.
Yes. Even though we're all chasing the same enemy.
Yeah, they're all chasing the same enemy, but the werewolf decides to tackle Emmett and let Victoria just keep running in the woods. And guess what? Victoria stops. She turns around. She's like, look at this. Got the wrong guy. And I'm like, werewolves, what are you doing? Where's the rest of the pack?
They literally stopped chasing the bad, murderous vampire because Emmett has crossed the arbitrary line onto their territory.
They take that shit really seriously. Fuck the bad vampire that they're all working to get. They're all working to get this vampire, werewolf and vampires. But nope. You break that rule. You get out of the school.
You get out of here, bud. And she body slams Emmett. Let's just be clear. She is like, get the fuck off the reservation, Emmett. And just stares at him.
And they're all like, Victoria, she's back there running. And then Victoria just continues to run away.
Yeah, all the Cullens are off on the other side of the line being like, hey, but Victoria's going that way. Could you just okay, we'll stay over here. Can you just go? Keep going.
Just go get
She's
her?
on your territory.
We're on our side. Please go get her. Emmett, I promise you learned this lesson. Where's your pack? But nope, Victoria just keeps running. She turns around, looks for 5 minutes, gauges the situation. She's like, yep, scot-free, boom, leaves. So already you're like, okay, well, if the werewolf pack and the vampire pack kind of working together can't destroy one murderous girl who's been looking for Bella for a year now in the same small town, then I don't think this is going to end very well.
So now we are back. We're going to go back to Edward and Bella because they are back from their fun in the sun Florida vacation.
And back at school in the school.
Yeah, and I guess Edward, after he white-fanged her and moved away with his family, decided to re-enroll in Forks High School because he's back in class. I don't want to think about it too hard.
Yeah, we can't go on this trail again. So they're back at school, ruling the school.
He's also driving his very sensible Volvo again. He pulls in. So she's kind of sad, and he's like, why are you pouting? And she's like, oh, I don't know, because I'm saying goodbye to everyone in my life because you're going to turn me into a vampire, even though that's the one thing that I want. But he goes,
I asked you to stay in the car, would you?
but do you think Bella's going to stay in the car?
Heck no.
No.
Of course not.
She gets out, and this is where my favorite scene is. We get to see Jacob for the first time in the movie. And you thought Edward's bad boy image, getting out of that Volvo slow walking. No. Jacob, bad boy, turn around, bad boy, looking, everyone's walking by me, bad boy with the motorcycle. And it's like the worst, crappiest, cheesiest intro I've ever seen.
He turns around in slow-mo. With his little brooding
He's
face.
even more jacked than he was in the other movie. He's grown up a little bit. He's still not at school on the reservation. He still just shows up to their high school and stands around.
I was like, he drove all the way here from the reservation to make this grand entrance. He didn't call anyone.
He needs to talk to Bella right then and there.
Yeah.
And he's like, Bella, you know what? Hey, I got a little news to tell you.
Look, I'm here to warn you. If your kind come on our land again.
Wait, what?
You didn't tell her?
Just leave it alone, Jacob.
Tell me what?
Did you lie to get her out of town, too?
Just leave. She has a right to know.
She is the one the redhead wants.
Victoria? Alice's vision.
Yesterday, we saw Victoria, and we actually didn't get her. We accidentally got Emmett because he crossed this line. I don't want to get too hard into it, Bella. The Victoria got away, and it looks like she's still after you. Remember Victoria from 2 movies ago? She's still looking for you, and she wants you dead.
And Bella's mad because Edward has failed to mention this to her.
I was trying to protect you.
By lying to me.
Edward has just been like, we don't talk about Victoria. We don't want to stress Bella out about it.
He's doing it to protect her.
She's like, Edward.
Okay, we're going to talk about this, but...
And then she turns to Jacob and she goes, and you.
You. Why haven't you called me back?
Why didn't you ever call me back?
Oh, Bella's sending mixed messages, but she's so mad at Edward that she's like, you know what? I'm going to ditch school after my Florida vacation. And they're all about to graduate. So it seems like a lot of missed school. And she's like, you know
Yes.
what? When you bring up Victoria, this woman that has no threat to me because I've been here for a year and she hasn't gotten me. But when you say her name now, it seems more serious. So I'm going to get on Jacob's
Yes.
motorcycle, go to his reservation. I'm going to figure out more about this.
You know that she looks at him when she gets on the back of the motorcycle. She looks at Edward. She's like, it's just a motorcycle ride. Calm down. But she's doing it just to make him jealous.
What are you going to do? Are you going to ghost me? Are you going to turn into a little ghost? Tell me not to do it.
He's like,
And I-
actually, I will.
Or he could use his super speed and just stop Jacob from, you know,
That's true. He could
Nope.
stop that motorcycle so fast.
he could be faster than that motorcycle with his super
anyway.
speed, but neither here nor there.
Hold on tight.
So part of the journey that she's going to have on her senior ditch day with Jacob is he's going to take her back to the house where Emily makes the giant muffins. And the whole
Muffins.
wolf pack hangs out.
Shirtless boys all the time running around the werewolf pack.
It's
Because
Yes.
they all literally are shirtless running out like, Bella's here, because everybody loves Bella.
and everyone's obsessed with Bella. They're like,
Hey, look who's back. What up, Bella? I'm glad you're here, Bella. Maybe we can get a break from Jake's obsessive inner monologue. Which Bella would call.
Which Bella wouldn't call?
Maybe I should call Bella.
Maybe I should call Bella and hang up.
If you're here to torture Jacob some more, feel free to leave.
Bella. Hi.
Hey.
I was wondering when we'd see your face around here again.
like everybody's so obsessed with Jacob and Bella, and it's literally all they talk about all the time. It is one of those things, like in a rom-com, when the best friend is just obsessed with the lead character and doesn't have their own life at all. It's kind of that situation, except for with the whole pack of wolves.
And muffins.
And muffins, lots of muffins.
At least she knows how to make
lots
muffins.
of muffins.
Giant muffins.
We meet a new character here, though. Her name is Leah Clearwater. Leah Clearwater is now part of the pack, you guys. She is a woman, and she is in the wolf pack.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is crazy talk right now. So Jacob is like, Leah's a bitch. I hate having her in the pack. And Bella's like, that seems pretty sexist, right? And he's like, it's not a chick thing. It's just a Leah thing.
It's not a chick thing. It's, a triangle thing. We all have to live the Leah, Sam, Emily pain fest. Wolf telepathy, remember?
Because Leah was in love with Sam, and then Sam left Leah for Emily. And so now we have this eternal love triangle within the pack, and it's just drama for everyone all the time. And so Bella's like, you know what? There's a deadly vampire hunting me, but tell me more about this wolf pack love triangle. That seems like the most important thing to learn about right now. Tell me more.
And then he tells her about, this is where we learn about my favorite new thing. It's called imprinting. And he gives this beautiful speech.
Imprinting on someone is like when you see her, everything changes. All of a sudden, it's not gravity holding you to the planet. It's her. Nothing else matters. You would do anything, be anything for her.
And I'm like, is imprinting just being horny? Like, okay, yeah, I've imprinted on a lot of people,
In that
unfortunately.
case,
I've
there's
imprinted
a lot of imprinting happening.
Lots of imprinting.
I may have imprinted once too many.
Because he's literally like, imprinting is when you look at her and, gravity's not holding you back. It's her. That's all. And I'm like, okay, so imprinting is just literally like having a crush on somebody. It doesn't make any sense.
It's more than some crush, Bella.
He's really trying to compete up with that werewolf eternal marriage thing. He's like, hey.
Or vampire, you mean. Vampire.
What'd I say?
Eternal marriage. You said werewolf, eternal
Oh, yeah.
marriage.
He's trying to compete with
Werewolves
that.
don't give a fuck about eternal marriage.
They
They're
just
all about
imprint.
that body heat right here, right now, imprinting.
You think eternal marriage to a vamp is cool? Try imprinting.
He's like, you don't choose it. It chooses you. And so it's like, okay,
yeah, that's still
so
the same thing. Yeah, it's still being horny.
it's so dumb. And so now she's like got the idea of imprinting. So this will obviously come up later, but just keep that in your back pocket. When a wolf imprints, it's for life. And he also has to suffer because I don't know if you remember this from the last movie, and I don't even know if we really talked about this, honestly, but wolves, because they share the pack, they like share a brain. So they have wolf telepathy. So they know each other's thoughts.
More of the lore. Yep. More of the lore.
And so every wolf in the pack has to live with the drama of this love triangle between Leah and Emily and Sam because they hear the internal dialogue happening all the time. Can you think of a
That's the worst
torture than that? I cannot think of anything worse.
And I love also just one little side note. Shirtless boy, there's always one with a chicken wing. He's always eating a chicken wing the whole rest of the movie. Because he's a wolf, you know.
That's a sick name now, Chicken Wing.
And there's Chicken Wing. Oh, that's Chicken Wing.
Oh my gosh, when you named the gang in Electra, do you remember that? You named the bad gang and you came up with all those nicknames. I was crying. I still think about that sometimes and giggle so hard. Gang. So
yeah, there's like Typhoid, Single Eye, Little Lipper, Frogman, Little Peep, Bodag, Lil Peep, Chicken Wing, Hot Sauce, Beef Tartare. This is Typhoid. This is Yellow. This is Con Man, Epilepsy, Lupus. This is Bullet Bourbon.
Is that gang just disease names?
Because they're bad. You don't want to have that. You don't want to fuck with Lupus.
So after that hot imprinting talk and all the muffins and little chicken wing and Leah Clearwater, the new badass werewolf, I was trying to like feminize.
Werewoman.
Yeah, so stupid. We're taking a little flashback back to rainy Seattle, where I guess Victoria ran back to. I don't know. Either way, you see that a lot of newborn vamps are being made. You guys, vamps, left, right, boom, boom. Anyone off the street, they don't care. Make them a vamp.
And important to note, the little guy that was missing at the beginning of the movie, he's now basically the leader of the newborn vamp army. He's technically taking his orders from Victoria, but he's like second in command.
Because he was probably the first newborn to get made, so he just thinks he has all the power. He's like, you know what? I'm helping her grow this little army. We're all doing it for the same cause. Let's do it.
My absolute favorite part was he like leaves his little newborn army unattended for 5 seconds in the city, comes back, they have cars overturned, stuff's on fire, there's people dead everywhere. And he goes pure mom mode, and he was like...
What did I say about a low profile?
What's done is done. Just clean up after yourselves.
I left you in the city for 5 seconds, and it looks like this. And he gives him this like total mom lecture.
Homie, you got turned like 20 minutes ago, dude. What are you talking about? And also, there's no like national press on this.
It's only now getting steam. And you know that because when the Cullens are watching the news, there's a news story about it.
It's only the local news, only Forks News.
Only Forks
No
News.
National news, no fucking 2020 tonight.
No. So the guy, the little guy who's the leader of the army, I can't remember his name. Do you remember what his name is?
We'll call him Forks Boy.
Forks Boy. Okay. So Forks Boy gives them a lecture about what a mess they've made in the middle of the city. He's like, okay, well, what's done is done. Now clean up after yourselves. I do not want to see this happen again. And walks away. And I'm like, they're not going to clean up after themselves.
Yeah, why would they?
They're not.
Why would they?
They're crazy.
They just killed a bunch of people
vampires.
and asked them not to. But the point is you see that they're growing some kind of army. And you're like, shit.
Yes.
This
is
army,
it a little out of control? Yes.
Is it a little out of control?
Is it pretty chaotic? Yes.
What are the Cullens going to do? Because this is a big O army. And that's when we cut back to the Cullens. And they're like watching the news like Hayden said.
Seattle is in a state of terror. Police are baffled by the escalating murders and disappearances. Theories range from a vicious new gang to a wildly active serial killer. Reporting live, Dawn Shube, CNN.
We're going to have to do something.
And they're like, Alice, tell us what's going on.
And we didn't actually need to turn on the news because Alice could have been the news, but the news is the only way we're going to find out about this stuff that's happening in Seattle. So it's not a great system.
Alice, fill us in. She's like, well, I think a vamp army, they're newborn vamps, and they are passing around Bella's shirt, I guess. So they're all going to come here and kill her. So we got to protect Bella.
That's my favorite thing. The flash over to Seattle and her vision. And they're like, Victoria's passing around this shirt. She's like, smell it. Smell it. Smell it.
How does Alice know it's fucking her shirt? Because again, it's been a year, you guys. It's been a year. Like Victoria, that's nothing in Vamp World. Victoria still shouldn't have this grudge. It's because it's Bella. Everybody just is obsessed with Bella. So she automatically is like, yep, it's Bella's shirt. I know it's Bella's shirt.
And it's also like she keeps going back and forth from Forks to Seattle. And I'm like, why how fast is she making this trip back and forth? She's constantly running around the woods of Forks and then going back and training the army and then coming back to Forks and then going back
And then when she goes
training
back
the
to
army.
Forks, she doesn't do anything. She just gets chased out by the vampires. And then she still makes it out because the werewolves and the vampires can't get her. So what is she even doing in Forks? You're right. And
right.
You know what?
It doesn't.
We're doing that thing where we just get a little too into the details.
Now we realize the Cullens, they have been keeping an eye on the situation, but now they're like, ooh, they might be outnumbering us. We might need some help. Well, the only people they can ask help from
No, don't you say it. Don't you say it.
It's the
Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it. They have an eternal feud. Don't you say it. They can never be friends. You saw what happened to him earlier.
Werewolves.
You saw what happened to Emmett earlier. Don't you dare.
He got body slammed by that werewolf. The other thing that's important to remember is they might be enemies with each other, but both the vampire group and the werewolf group both care about Bella so much they would be willing to die for her. And that's their unifying principle is Bella, which is like really the unifying principle for everyone's life at this point. Bella. If you don't have Bella, you got nothing.
Nothing else. They have been vampires for like hundreds of years at this point, and nothing else they have cared about more than protecting this high school girl who has nothing going on. So it is really sweet to see them come together. And they do also start knowing a lot of stuff about newborn vampires. Like
Jasper has experience with newborns. Teach us how to defeat them.
How do the newborns differ from us?
They're a great deal stronger than us because their own human blood lingers in their tissues. Our kind is never more physically powerful than in our first several months of this life.
Carlisle's right. That's why they are created. A newborn army doesn't need thousands like a human army, but no human army could stand against them.
we learn from Jasper that newborn vampires are stronger than regular vampires because they still have their human blood mixed with the vampire blood, and it goes into their tissues, which makes them somehow stronger. I don't know.
There's a lot of logistics because it's also a brief window of time. It's like a month after their turn. So it's like they have to be smart enough that they can conspire and they're not just following like their baser instinct, but also it hasn't been so much time that they lose their thirst for blood. It's not as strong anymore as you are when you're a vampire. So that's like that really sweet window, but it's also trying to wrangle all of those vampires when they're in that crazed newborn phase is turning out to be a pretty hard job for Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
But they're trying to get it done. And the vampires and the wolves have decided that they're going to take shifts, right? They're going to guard Bella and her dad in shifts. This is where I had a question about. We learned and covered, and fucking Emmett got body slammed for crossing over into their territory because they were only allowed to protect them on their own territory. But when the wolves show up to guard Bella's house, they're fully wolf. They're fully wolf in Forks. They're not on their own territory.
Well, when Bella's involved, all of that sacred pacting and all of that sacred treaties fly out the window. We got to protect Bella because you're right. They said they could only turn into werewolves on the reservation.
Someone's like, grab the pact. So they unscroll it and they're like writing in the corner, like, except for Bella.
Well, they never technically said how big the reservation was. Maybe it actually consists of all of Forks, but Forks is just on there.
You would think that. But in the last movie, when Jacob is trying to, he takes Bella home and she sees the Volvo and he thinks it's a trick, he goes, I can't protect you here. We're not on the reservation.
I know.
And in the very next movie, he's in the woods protecting her, not on the reservation as wolves.
Not only do they take shifts, Jasper takes the lead to know everything about newborn vampires. And now they also do this amazing, they have to train now.
Yeah. Oh, this training exercise was my favorite thing.
Because they only have 4 days. Alice, with her vision, she can also tell distance and time and all of these little nuances. So she's like, beep, 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 beep. They'll be here in 4 days. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Victoria's been running back and forth from Seattle so much. She does it 3 times in a day. Why would it take 4 days for this vamp army to come to Seattle?
Right.
And that seems like a really small amount of time to train, but they're like, you know what? We got to train. They're smarter than us. They're faster than us. Training montage in the woods now.
Now, the 2 most important things to remember are first, never let them get their arms around you. They'll crush you instantly. And second, never go for the obvious kill.
They'll be expecting that.
And my favorite thing is they all show up in like sweatpants,
Oh,
like
ready.
athletic gear. Like they are, when I say they're ready to train, they are ready.
They don't even know what they're ready to train for. No one making this movie knew what they were ready to train for. Like they're kind of just hitting each other, like body slamming each other
But
back and
Jasper
forth.
knows because he used to lead a newborn vampire army. So it's like, you may not know, but Jasper knows.
He does know everything.
He's training them for what they need. The other really important part of this meeting in the woods, though, there's training meeting, is that the werewolves show up to be part of the training meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys, they show up as werewolves because they don't trust the Cullens enough to show up as their human selves.
The Cullens have been living off of freaking bat blood and like deer blood for like years and years. Why would they want your mutt blood right now? Like that's not important. Bella is the only thing that matters. Get that stupid thought out of your head.
And it's so dumb because now the wolves can't talk because they're wolves. So Carlisle's like,
Will you translate?
you need to translate for us, Edward. So go ahead and read their dog minds because we'll say something and then they'll think it and then you tell us what they're thinking. And I'm like, oh my God.
So now Edward, he can read animal minds as well.
Yes.
And everybody has these weird, Jasper all of a sudden becomes training expert and knows everything
Yes.
about newborns. Alice can have
Yes.
these weird kind of futuristic things. Edward can kind of
Yes.
turn into ghost form and hear things and read people's minds, but now
Yes.
dog minds.
And the wolves just sort of watch the training montage.
Yeah, they don't have anything to train. They're fucking wolves.
Yeah.
They're like, we know what we're doing. We don't need to train anything. We've been doing this for a long time, suckers. Like, what are you talking about? This ain't our first rodeo.
I'm like, why are they even here? They just stand there watching the training exercises.
They have that attitude, but then the Cullens are like, well, then why didn't you catch Victoria when she was literally running in your reservation?
Yeah,
yesterday?
that's also true. That was on you because that was your territory.
Wolves are like, ruh-roh. Right. I will say one little bit of observational humor that I loved at this because Jasper is teaching them all to fight. All they do is push each other really hard back and forth. That's their training.
Yeah.
And so Edward pushes Carlisle down, faces him, pushes him down, and Jasper goes,
One more thing. Never turn your back on your enemy.
never, ever turn your back on him. And right when he says that, Carlisle jumps up, and I'm like, Edward didn't even turn his back on him. He's facing him. He pushed him. He's looking
His
at him.
front is fully facing
Yes, I'm like,
him.
Carlisle is looking right at him, but it makes it seem like Jasper's just he's just a master. And I'm like, he
my
didn't
God.
turn his back on him. He pushed him, and then Carlisle just jumped up and scared him. That's not turning your back on it. Anyway, a little bit of observational humor. It was a shit show of a training session.
It was a disaster. I'm like, I don't know if this alliance is going to do much good for anyone, but if you want to keep telling yourselves.
Those newborn vamps are gonna fucking kill you guys hard.
Edward hated the idea, but it wasn't about rivalry anymore. It was about my safety and Charlie's. In the days that followed, I got them to at least try to work together. The wolves took over so the Cullens could hunt. It wasn't exactly an easy alliance.
So because they've made this agreement to take turns protecting Bella, they have to sort of just go back and forth with shifts.
Werewolves during the day, vamps at night. That's how it goes.
Oh, that's so true. Because at one point he's like, I gotta go hunt. I am losing strength. So I guess Jacob has to babysit you now.
I gotta go get that bat in the woods. I see a rabbit running out your bedroom window right now, and that rabbit's looking real good.
And I'm starving.
Also, does Bella ever see Edward eat a rabbit? Because that could be a deal breaker. Like if she ever saw him eating, you know how you have those people that like shovel eat and it's like a deal breaker, or like the licking fingers thing? What if Edward was just the sickest eater? He's just like slobbering up rabbit.
Yeah, that's true. She's missing a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Do not agree to get married to anybody until you see them eat.
Do you watch them eat? Yeah, and he is really gross. Like part of his red flag creep stalker behavior is every time he drops her off to be babysat by Jacob, he like just starts making out with her in front of Jacob and just looking Jacob straight in the eye while he's doing it. He's like, watch this.
Yeah, but Jacob picks her up without a shirt on. So it's like,
Doesn't he own a shirt?
come on, what's going on? I got the tan, buff body, and you are a petite vampire with kisses.
And they always have little barbs at each other, even though they're both babysitting Bella. They both love her the same, but whatever. So on one of these shifts of babysitting, she's walking with Jacob.
I love their talks. I love Bella and Jacob's awkward talks every movie.
Oh, I love so he's like,
You need to hear the truth, Bella. Understand all your options. And you need to know that I'm in love with you. And I want you to choose me instead of him. So I'm not giving up. I'm gonna fight for you until your heart stops beating. You wouldn't have to change for me, Bella, or say goodbye to anybody. I can give you more than him. Feel that? Flesh and blood and warmth.
I'm in love with you. I think you're also in love with me. I can give you something Edward can't. I'm a warm body. I will never ask you to change. And I'm like, that's actually not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal, but Bella's like, dude, I want to be a vamp, and nobody knows why. But he does really lay it on thick.
And he's like, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, but I'm a werewolf now. So I pick up on senses really well. I can read your body signals, and you like, your heart beats faster. You get nervous. Like, I think you're digging me.
She's like, no, I'm nervous you're going to turn into a werewolf and slice my face.
Yeah.
Did you see Sam's wife? I'm not digging you, dude. I'm constantly nervous around you because if I say one wrong thing, you're going to morph into a wolf and just slap me with your little wolf paw. And that's what I'm fucking scared of.
I'm living in fear.
You're misreading my senses, Jacob. I'm sorry.
I'm on his side for most of this because I've said I've teamed Jacob given the information we have. This is where I'm like, not Team Jacob because he kisses her even though she did not want to be kissed.
She does tell him, I don't love you. I don't feel that way for you. So she
Yes.
makes it very clear. Like, you might pick up
Yes.
on these senses. I do not love you.
He kisses her anyway. She pushes him off and she's like, Jacob, I just told you I didn't love you. I just told you I wanted to be a vamp. I just told you were misreading the signals. I'm only here to be babysat. Can you not kiss me, please? So by the time it's time for kid drop off, because they're sharing custody of Bella, when Jacob brings her back, that's Edward, peak red flag. He's literally about to murder Jacob because he's like,
If you ever touch her against her will again,
Don't do this
she's
here.
not
Don't-
sure what she wants.
Don't do
Let
this
me
here.
give you a clue. Wait for her to say the words.
which I guess also Alice must have told him. I guess that, I don't know how he knew that, other than Alice is like, guess what, Edward? Guess what? Guess what?
I know, it's just Alice. The whole movie revolves around Alice's vague visions, you guys. If you really watch
Yes.
this movie, the whole movie, like if there ever was a plot hole with times and just make it Alice vision. That's the answer to it.
It is your easy out for every single thing. Bella's obviously like, boys, don't fight over me. Like, I'm Switzerland. It doesn't have to be this way.
She's cool. She knows politics.
So in the meantime, there's all this drama happening, okay? Like Victoria's making a newborn army. There's people making pacts and breaking pacts, but they had to do graduation because that's also
Yep.
important.
I was going to say the one thing, put it all aside. If Bella can do one thing, it's unify people and put their fears aside because they all decide to have
Yes.
this big graduation party. Jessica gives a really great speech. I love it.
Yes.
I just want to say, side note, she's like, we're young, make mistakes, get on the wrong bus. And I'm like, that's not the mistakes you're talking about, girl. Like, that's...
Those are little small things.
I think when you mean make mistakes, it's like, get a job you don't really like.
Yeah.
Be in the relationship with someone you don't really love and then realize it. Like, those are the mistakes you want to make
Yes.
before you decide who you're human.
I get what you're saying.
They're having, right? Because it's just like, girl, those are like stupid every day. I'm still making those mistakes every day as an adult. That's not what we're trying to do here with your speech.
I think they're trying, that whole speech is like them trying to drill into our brains. If Bella becomes a vampire, she's not going to be able to make any of these mistakes that human people make when they're growing up because she's only
you're very
18.
true.
And
Very
so
true.
they're trying to be like, look at all the things you're giving up on. Anyway, fast forward. We're having a graduation party at the Cullens because Alice loves hosting parties. We learned that last time when Jasper tried to kill Bella.
Mhm. And going through people's bags, that little klepto.
that's
dude.
true,
She's just
too.
rummaging through every person's bag.
That's why she had the party. So she could just be like, I'll put your purse in the bedroom. Then she's just back there rummaging through everyone's stuff.
I know she's going back in her vision. She's like, what is Jessica going to pack tonight? Oh, visioning you. Oh, surveying you. Because, again, she can just choose who she wants to vision and when.
They are having this party. Also, this is a side note, all the girls there are wearing their best party dresses because it's graduation, not Bella. Bella's wearing a button-up, jeans, and chucks because she's a cool girl and she does not wear dresses.
Never wear
So
dress.
don't ask her. She won't do it. So at this party, Jacob walks in
Jacob and the
with
bad
two of his
boys.
pack friends.
Jacob and the pack, the shirtless boy packs.
They did put shirts on for the party, though.
And Jacob's like, hey, girl, about the whole kiss thing, I'm really sorry, but I decided to make it up to you by giving you this little Pandora wolf charm to wear on your bracelet. And I'm like, Jacob. Oh, and then the thing is she's like, oh, great. And she puts it on and she's got this little wolf little wolf Pandora bracelet.
She's like, you made this? And he's like, yeah. And she's so impressed, you guys. It is a wolf that is like not even like an inch big. It's teeny tiny, carved out of wood.
She forgets all about the kiss. She's like, I am going to worship this wolf charm for the rest of my life. My cactus, wolf charm, all I need.
So she puts that wolf charm right on. She acts like Jacob has carved her. Like, I could make a wolf that looked like that.
It's the only time she shows emotion. And like also when he built the engine, that was the only other time she got excited about anything.
That's true. He works with his hands. You know Edward does not know how to do any of that
he
shit.
just shows up as a
He does not
ghost.
have any practical skills.
He just listens to classical music on his not bed every day. It's really ridiculous.
Edward catches a glimpse of this out of this little Pandora bracelet charm. He's like, where's that from? She's like, it's a graduation present. So he is like, just keeps being jealous about everything that Jacob does. And it's so stupid.
So after this really romantic charm bracelet,
Well,
what
wolf
woman
charm.
doesn't want a Pandora charm bracelet? I love it. I'd wear it.
All of us do. All of us do.
Alice has one of her famous visions / surveillances / actually being there and knowing everything, her omnipotence. And it really puts a damper on the party because now she's like, Cullen family, after the party, we got to turn on the news because something's going down in Seattle and I know it.
Alice, what'd you see?
The decision's been made.
You're not going to Seattle.
They're coming here. We'll be here in 4 days.
You know, they've been training, the Cullen family's been training hard, especially Jasper. They're like, you know what? I know that it's our turn to watch Bella. It's our turn to babysit. We've been training all day, as you've seen. We got to go get some fresh rabbit and bird blood because we are exhausted. We also got to prep for the army. They're coming.
Yeah, there's a big battle coming. They know that those vamp armies come in.
We got to go to get our fighting blacks, on. These are our casual training blacks, but we need our fighting blacks. And Rosalind's like, I need my black stilettos.
She's wearing her gloves. She's being her leather daddy. She's like, I'm ready.
So they leave Edward and Bella alone.
Your alibi for the battle is all arranged. I told your father that our whole family is going camping this weekend, so you and I are having a sleepover at my house. Actually, you and Edward will have the house to yourself tonight.
Like alone?
We're all going hunting, powering up for the battle. You're welcome.
And Bella's thinking to herself, like, I'm horned. Like, I'm just really horned. This whole thing is, the whole world is after me. I'm the queen of everything in this universe. That makes me horned.
This is a theme throughout this whole thing. Like, she wants his bod so bad. And he's just like, no, not going to do it. So they're alone for the night in the Cullens' house. And don't worry, Edward has set up a bed. There's not a bed in the house, you guys, because they're vampires. They don't sleep. But he puts together an entire bed for her with like a canopy over it and the whole 9 yards.
Perfect
She could have just
bed.
slept on the couch. Like there was
nope.
a lot of other solutions, but whatever. So she's like,
Okay, marriage is the condition for you to change me yourself, right?
Yes.
I want to negotiate my own condition. I want you. Well, I'm still me. I still want you this way.
I want to have sex with you now while I'm in this version of my body. Like when I feel like all this horned desire for you before I change. I just want to know what it feels like. Can you please try? And he's like, I guess. And so they start kissing. She unbuttons like 2 buttons. And he's like, nope, can't try. Nope, change my mind. Take it back.
Sorry.
Can't do it.
I'm old fashioned.
So she's like, what is wrong with me? And he's like, nothing's wrong with you. I'm old fashioned. Had this been my old life, I would have courted you. We would have had chaperones.
Oh, God. You forget that he's 109 years old and he's been living for 109 years in this modern world. And you're still being like, whoa, no sex before marriage.
Yes.
Because that's what he says. He literally says, nope. Not until after we get married.
Yeah. So he goes, if it were the old days, like I would have asked for your father's hand in marriage. And then you guys, he goes,
I would have got down on one knee and I would have presented you with a ring.
He's got the ring, you guys.
Oh, boy. He's really picking the right time.
Officially.
He's picking the right time when she's all horned up. Because, of course, she's going to be like, yes, let's get married. Let's get married. Yep, we're married. Let's say we're married already.
Exactly.
She puts it on and like, oh, no. Yes, I do.
He's asked her so many times and she said no. But when she's in the heat of the horns,
you know what?
I'll do it.
She's got werewolves all over her. She got vamps. It's just like it's too much for her. She's just overly hormonal and horny. I get it. I would be too. It's like a life or death situation. And her engagement ring is gorgeous. I mean, it is like an egg-shaped ring with lots of little egg-shaped diamonds in it.
It was Edward's mother's ring. We can't track exactly. Like he almost died in a hospital when he got turned to a vampire. So where he had the time and energy to go get the ring, put it in his pocket.
He used that super speed, dude. He used that super speed. Snuck in, grabbed it, bounced.
It is, as Colin said. I mean, it's probably 1.5 inches long.
Oh, yeah. It looks like an egg. It looks like a small egg on her finger. A small little sparkly egg.
Goes from the middle knuckle to the hand knuckle. It's that big. It's very glittery.
But they don't have sex yet. Not until after they're married.
No.
And she's like, all right, well, I guess I'll do it because I'm horned. And we'll see how long this hornedness stays. But hopefully it does until after we finish this whole nonsense.
The next day, they have to bring the whole Cullen plan to fruition. The whole vampire army and the Cullens have to fight it out. But they have one last ruse.
Another really sweet ruse.
To buy some time.
Yeah, because the newborn vamp army is like hardcore. Jasper's getting all ready. We learned a lot of backstories, by the way, with Jasper, Civil War.
Movie you learned Jasper's backstory, Rosalie's backstory, the Council of the Natives backstory.
Everybody's backstory. But they have one more really great ruse. It's kind of similar to the first one because in the first one, they just like rubbed Bella's shirt on some trees and stuff and took it.
Right.
Nope. Bella cuts her little finger, you guys, runs very slowly through the woods and just marks every little tree. Boop, boop, little boop.
She's not even running. She's just walking with Edward. They're casually strolling because they're waiting for Jacob to come pick her up.
But yeah, she's marking every tree with her blood. You think Victoria's going to fall for that shit again? No fucking way.
They're thinking if we can make people think that Bella's going this direction, but really she's going this direction, then we'll have some extra time and Bella won't be in danger. And then the next part of this ruse is after she's like, boop, spreading her blood on each little tree.
Little blood kisses, little blood smooches.
Little blood kisses. Jacob comes to pick her up because if Jacob carries Bella to the secret camping spot in the mountain, his wolf scent will cover her yum yum scent.
That makes sense.
And so it's yet a double layered ruse.
A double layered ruse. I know, but you wouldn't think that Victoria would be like, hey, I remember this smell from all these dogs that chased me out of the res. And I also smell yum yum. So I smell yum yum blood and hardcore res dog blood. Maybe I'll follow this instead.
Seems like there's a ruse happening. Maybe this is a ruse.
Yeah, maybe this is a ruse.
I could be wrong, but this seems like a ruse.
But yeah, they take her up to the top of the coldest, wettest, scariest mountain in the world. And keep in mind, Bella doesn't like cold, wet things. This whole part is like the directors, the writers, everybody was just trying to figure out how to make the tension between this love triangle. Like, how intense can we make this? And they chose the absolute best way.
There's a storm coming.
A big
so let's just say that.
snowstorm. Huge blizzard
They
coming.
have chosen the tippy top of a mountain.
It's like where the Grinch lives. The Grinch is up there with Max.
Yes.
The Grinch is up there with Max looking over Whoville. It's that high up in the mountains. Like, it's up there.
The storm blows in. It is windy. It's a blizzard. And no one thought that through, you guys. They didn't bring enough camping supplies. They didn't bring a portable heater. They didn't bring anything.
And guess what? They know that Bella's a poor little baby flower. They know she's a cold baby little deer, and they need to keep her warm. She's a little tiny little mouse human. And she's just lost all that blood marking those trees.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, boy.
She is weak as it is.
She's weak. It's not good. Not looking good for Bella.
So she's chitter-chattering. She's about to die. I mean, she is slowly freezing to death. Edward goes, I should have chosen somewhere farther down. And I'm like, you think, Edward?
Yeah.
You think maybe you shouldn't have chosen the
Maybe
tippy
you should have spider monkeyed on your little back and you went to like, I don't know, Bermuda. Like, why do you choose to still stay in the area? Just take her. You went to Florida to see her mom. Just take her out of the fucking area. Just leave.
Just completely leave the vicinity altogether for the battle. That's probably a better choice, but whatever. They choose the tip of a mountain for whatever reason. So she's freezing to death. He's like, shit, I was trying to protect you from death by vampire. Did not think about death by freezing. So then Jacob comes to, because Jacob stays. He's going to like be the watchdog. Get it? No pun intended. That night just to make sure.
That's rude. That's very rude to the werewolf species.
It is rude. I'm sorry. Oh, also he's doing it because wolf telepathy. He's like, if you don't have me here, you can't keep tabs on everything that's happening. And I need to be able to talk to the wolves. You can't do that.
So between Alice's vision, talking to the wolves, Edward being able to read minds, being able to super speed everywhere, you're just kind of like, this all makes total sense.
Lots of information.
Yeah.
Lots of information happening. Yeah. So anyway, Bella's freezing to death and Jacob comes in the tent and he's like, I am actually super warm all the time. It's part of the werewolf thing. I could really quickly warm her up. And Edward's like, oh, I would rather she die. I would rather she die than you get in this tent and in her sleeping bag and warm her up. And I'm like, Edward, are you like, you're that jealous that the person you love is dying and you're like, nope. Not going to save her.
But Bella's like, Edward, stop being a bitch. Let him get in here. I'm freezing.
Yeah.
And Jacob's like, okay, yep, I will. And he gets in there and he slips in there. Full eye contact with Edward the whole time as he's full on top of Bella.
Behind her. Like, it's like a very weird big spoon situation.
Well, she's a tiny little mouse.
Yeah. And so she's like nestled up to him. He's looking at Edward the entire time, like, look where I am. My little penis touching her little butt.
I know. He's literally like, yeah, oh, you're my little wolf penis.
And Edward's like,
can you at least attempt to control your thoughts?
Because now we have Edward reading the wolf mind. It's all too much, too much, too much.
But he's also not just reading the wolf mind. He's also hearing Leah Clearwater's mind, because Leah Clearwater's mind is part of the wolf pack mind. It's all a hive mind. And then Edward can read animal minds. So there's probably a lot of confusing thoughts there.
Could you imagine the internal noise that's happening in all of these heads? You would be going crazy.
You just hear about muffins. You hear about chicken wings. You hear about shirtless boys. You're thinking about Sam. You're thinking about it's just a lot going on. But my favorite part is that during this whole thing, Bella falls asleep because she's a tiny little mouse and she's tired from all the blood loss. And Jacob and Edward continue to have this talk that doesn't really, it's a classic Twilight talk where nothing's really getting said. It's just kind of this weird back and forth.
Same thing over and over again. Like Jacob's like, you know, I could give her a life. And Edward's like, yeah, but she loves me. Well, you know that she doesn't have to be a vampire. Well, she wants to be a vampire. Well, you know that I'm a dog and dogs are cooler. Yeah, but we're vampires. I don't want her to change.
Okay, we get the point.
Like, it's just, yeah.
We get the point. You're already bothering me with your back and forth.
It's annoying as fuck.
And she's asleep the whole time. Like, she doesn't wake up one time and be like, yo, you're literally talking over my sleeping head right now. I can hear you. So after that really great night of just total non-awkwardness, because I guess Edward, he's also a vampire, so vampires sleep, though.
No, they don't. Colin, they don't have beds. They don't sleep. He says that's like the first thing they cover in the first movie.
They sleep in coffins.
Colin.
You're right.
This is not, you're mixing vampire lore. We have
This is the OG vampire lore. You're right.
These are glittery vampires who don't sleep in coffins or ever. Okay?
You're right.
So
and can read minds.
Get that through your head.
So we cut back to Seattle, where I guess Victoria's back with Forks Boy.
She's run back real quick.
Yeah, she ran back real quick. This is where it's trying to kind of get you like, because as a viewer, you're kind of like, why the fuck does Victoria, why is this even happening? Why is any of this vamp army happening? And just to recap this far into our episode, Victoria has started a newborn vamp army just to kill Bella, because Bella was around this person that killed her partner in the first movie. Like, Bella did not kill any of this. She didn't know who Victoria was. It was the Cullen family, but now Victoria has created an army to kill Bella. So now she's really manipulating Forks Boy. She's just like, guess what?
I told you how it works.
Cullens have powers.
Don't underestimate them, Riley. You'll have the numbers, but they'll be able to anticipate your every move.
According to your friend.
Yes. My dead friend.
My dead friend. And then she's like trying to make sense. She's like, the writers are like, okay, well, we have to connect the dots somehow. She has to know about the powers, but we don't quite know. So then she goes,
Laurent found out about the things they could do, and they killed him, but not before he told me.
They killed Laurent, but right before he died, he told me about the powers.
Okay, Victoria. Okay, girl. Sure he did.
In Laurent's final moments of life, he's like, real quick, they can see everything. They know you're having my... And then he dies.
Vampire lore, dude. Vampire lore. That's what it is.
She's also using her sexual wiles. So she's controlling him with the power, obviously, but she's also making out with him. She's like, I love you so much. Once you lead this little army for me, like, we're going to be together forever. Don't worry.
Keep in mind, she's doing all of this for Bella. That's the whole, all of this is just to kill Bella. So even though she's killing her, it's still for Bella.
Yeah, and she's like, I want to hunt in peace. And I'm like, you could go anywhere else in the world.
Anywhere else in the world. Go to Florida.
Anywhere else in the world. The Cullens stay very local.
You know what?
They're good.
Go to the Yukon.
Farm to table.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Just try an animal blood. Just try animal blood one time. I think you can do it, right? Yeah. So that's what's going on over there. But it gives you, she's like, she's like, Forks boy, let's go. It's time to go. You know what? All of this.
And
Army unite. Let's get over to Forks.
I just want to also say, you see the army uniting, standing at a body of water, and you're like, are they going to
swim?
Get in that body of water?
Yeah, they are. They sure the fuck are. Vampires also can swim. That's why it takes them 4 days. They're not going to run. They're going to swim to Forks. And you're thinking, okay, all right.
Because when they cut to Forks, all of a sudden you see their little heads pop up out the water, and they slowly emerge from the water.
They're like zombie vampires.
Yes, like swim/walk on the bottom of the sea the whole way, because there's got to be a better way for you guys to get to Forks, especially if Victoria's making that commute on the reg
every day. So the next morning, back at the wonderful campground, Bella's up early. She's not cold anymore. And she's outside and she's talking to Edward. And he's like, remember when I asked you to marry me? Are we going to get married? You know, they're just doing that same conversation. But Jacob overhears it.
You're going to tell Jacob we're getting married? You're going to wear your ring? Huh? You're going to wear your ring?
You don't even have to. Guess what? You don't even have to tell him because he's hearing every fucking word we're saying. He's standing right there. And Jacob is pissed. He's like, nope, I'm out. Finally, he has a little bit of consciousness where he's like, why? The brain fog lifts. Bella's yum smell goes out of his brain. And he's like, oh, what am I doing here? What's the point of all this? I'm leaving. But not quite yet.
Because he's the whole time, he's just like, I'm going to fight till the second you turn a vampire. I'm going to be there every second because you're going to change your mind. I'm going to be here. Like, we're running out of time, but I'll be here. And then he does just have this moment of like, why am I doing this? Why did I make that wolf charm? Huh? What's going on?
Right? Give me back my Pandora charm. But as he leaves, this is where Bella shows her awesome selfishness because she just wants Jacob around to protect her and as a friend when she wants him there. But he's clearly been like, I love you. She says, I don't. He's trying to get away and she's like, Jacob, don't go. And this is where she does like a really cool move that I think everybody should do.
This is so shitty.
And she goes, Jacob, kiss me. And I'm like, Bella, pulling out that one, dude. Come on.
It's such a shit move because it's so manipulative. Like this whole time she's been like, don't kiss me. She fucking punched him in the face when he tried to kiss her before and sprained her hand doing it. Edward almost killed Jacob because he kissed her. And in the peak of this conflict, she's like, oh, I'm only going to think about myself. Never mind that I have a whole vampire clan that's fighting for me, and I have a whole Wolfpack clan that's fighting for me. People,
and that I was just talking to the person I'm engaged to about marriage, and now I'm going to ask you to kiss me on top of this mountain. It's really, really shitty. I wrote cock, tease, bees. That's the B is for Bella. Cock, tease, bees.
Cock, tease, bees. Yeah, and I should also say that at one point during this movie, she tells both the vampires and the werewolves at different times, like, one of you could get hurt, one of you could die protecting me. And they're just like, we're willing to take that risk. Like these, the werewolves, what is in it for them? What is in it for them? Just Jacob likes Bella. And so they're like, yeah, we know one of us is going to die. And we're totally fine with that because we're protecting Bella. What is in it for them?
Nobody knows.
I don't understand it.
Muffins. More muffins.
Muffins.
They get a lot more
Bella's
muffins
like,
if they win the war.
You have no idea how many muffins I will make you
muffins
if you
on
fight.
Muffins. We're getting to the dicey stuff now. The vamp army's there. They've swam all the newborns. And keep in mind, Jasper said, smarter, stronger, never turn your back on them, and don't go for the obvious place, which nobody knows what the obvious place is when vampires are fighting vampires, neither here nor there. They pop their little baby heads out of the Forks water, which again, that is really weird. Like maybe they're too newborn. They still have their human blood in them. They're like, humans like swimming, dude.
And humans like taking their sweet time doing everything. So we're just going to stroll on the bottom of the ocean and get there when we get there.
Well, I would like to say that Jacob's like, okay, well, I guess I will kick around a little bit longer. I'll come to the last battle,
kiss.
you know. I won't, totally abandon you now. This battle scene lasts for, it's already a 2.5 hour long movie. It lasts for probably half of the movie, I would say. Heads popping off, arms popping off, legs popping off. Pops off, and there's no blood. That they just kind of pop off without any blood happening. But needless to say, that Jasper's boot camp came in handy.
It really worked. It really worked.
And again, there's no police anywhere. All these bodies from Seattle missing. Nobody's trying to also nobody's tracking. And I don't want to get too far into it.
That battle is happening down there. The training has paid off. Jasper has well trained his army. Back up at the camping spot, however, Victoria's been too smart for everyone else. She didn't go to the battle with the rest of her little army.
She sent little
she's
boy.
Got one thing on the mind, and it's Edward. Because she's like, Edward killed my partner, and then when I'm done killing Edward, I'm going to kill Bella. But she
so now she
takes
kind of
Fork's boy
her
with
whole
her.
priority shift. Now it's kind of Edward. All of a sudden, it's now Edward.
You're right. You're right about that. It is like she goes from being like Bella, 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 Bella to be like, you know what? Well, I think Edward first and then Bella.
Because as the viewer, I'm like, this whole time, I'm like, Bella didn't do any. Again, I'm not rooting for Bella. I want Bella's head to get ripped off. Trust me.
Right.
But she actually didn't kill your partner, Victoria, in movie 1.
Right.
Like, it was the Cullen family. They literally ripped off his head, danced around him. But you know what? It was in Bella's ballet studio from her childhood. That makes sense. So she's automatically implicit in all of this. And she needs to go.
She finds their campsite and Edward's like, oh shit. She knows we're here. The ruse did not work. She
Our little blood
noticed
kisses
that
and werewolf must.
Because he's like, she noticed I wasn't at the fight. So she was like, if Edward's not here, Edward's probably with Bella. And I can't smell Bella because the wolf covered up her tracks, but I can still smell Edward. So I'm going to follow that. Like, the whole thing is so stupid. None of the ruse made any sense. It did not work from the very beginning.
None of the ruses work.
Jacob has stuck around because he's going to be their backup plan. So Jacob's hiding in the woods. Victoria doesn't even know Jacob's there. Just keep that in mind, okay?
Oh, yeah. She's not thinking about werewolf. She's like, werewolves?
No.
Werewolves, they have a hateful pact against vampires. I know they're not going to be in these woods. Never.
They're definitely not going to be allies. Definitely
the werewolves
not.
that just chased me out of here like a couple seconds ago. Those pack of wolves that are after me, they're not going to be here. No freaking way.
No, they chased me off the jumping cliff last movie. No, they're not going to show up. They're not going to show up. It's
I haven't
fine.
heard any intel from Dead Laurent about any werewolf pack, so I'm going to say it's safe to be in these woods.
If Laurent's disembodied head is like, hey.
By the way, they made a pact. By the way, beware of chicken wing. He's the worst.
He's rough. So she meets up with Edward in the woods, and they have a face-off between the two of them. This is where Colin, you tell what does she say to Fork's boy? Because Fork's boy is her backup, okay? So Bella has
Fork's boy's
Jacob.
really willing to die for her right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Edward's like, Fork's boy, you know why Victoria picked you, right? Because you're from Forks. You know your way around. And I'm like, oh my God. Victoria's been what? What the fuck? Victoria literally watched them at prom. She's been in Forks for a year. Forks is 600 people.
She killed
How?
Harry in the forest. She jumped off the jumping cliff. She knows everything
about Forks. She's been here for a year hunting Bella, and she had to kill a guy. She had to do research on Forks boy and be like, this guy's from Forks. She probably watched him leave Forks since she was in Forks. Killed him so that he could train her.
Followed him to Seattle.
So that he could be like, well, I think you turned down this street to get to Bella's house. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
So stupid. And Colin, she's been commuting back and forth from Forks to Seattle this entire time.
The whole time Forks boy has been in this
Forks
movie
boy?
is so that he can help her get around Forks.
Oh, she fully seduces him, making out with him.
know.
Like,
She goes
just
away.
the whole thing to be like, so you can take me all the way around Forks, inside and out.
There's so many better ways to go around this, Victoria. Like this is
Like
just
a map? Like GPS?
You
Like
have a
Googling
phone.
it?
Like, literally
Like Google
do
Maps? Anything.
Download Snapchat, add Edwards as a friend, and see where he's at. Track his map. Dude, there's so many ways.
So many
they make
ways.
it really clear at the beginning that Forks is really small. So I'm like, how hard can it be to navigate through Forks, dude? You have to kill someone, make that person train your newborn vampire army just so that he can be like, down this road, guys, turn left. It's so stupid.
And even Laurent, because Laurent went back to kill Bella, right? So that could have been easily Laurent's information. Like, I got a lay of the land. I'm going to transfer this to you real quick.
Right before he dies, he's like, download
Right
map.
before.
Save location, offline maps. Boom. Oh, it's so stupid. And you know what? Forks boy
so dumb.
his mind is blown. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Victoria,
No
way. There's no way.
No.
She picked me because I'm hot and I was alone in that rain. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
His little baby Forks boy mind is blown.
Poor thing.
Poor
Poor
thing. Poor baby. It's hard
He's
to learn
still part
that.
human, too. So
But so he's strong.
hasn't quite fully made the transition.
He should go full.
Yeah.
He goes full Hulk. At this point, it wouldn't even matter. I mean,
So this is where Jacob, in hiding, makes his appearance because then he has the element of surprise. He helps Edward defeat Victoria and Forks boy. So they have won their fight. Down at the bottom of the mountain, the other vampires and wolves have won their fight. both battles have come to an end. Victoria, who's been chasing Bella for 3 movies now and had like 20 speaking lines in this whole movie, got killed in 2 minutes flat.
Yeah,
2 minutes flat. She trained an entire
I think they forgot.
army.
Honestly, I think they forgot about Victoria's storyline. I think they were like, we got to
Like,
figure out a
it's
way.
crazy.
It's so
this
sad.
This whole movie
And
is her creating a
dies.
newborn army, and she dies immediately.
But nobody even gets hurt.
It does not help her at all.
None of the werewolves, nobody, except for Jacob. He gets a little bit injured, but all the Cullen family makes it out fine. Werewolves make it out fine. No one gets hurt.
Yeah, after all of that, you're going to die for me. You're going to die for me. And, it's like,
after
no,
Jasper's
actually, no,
speech about them being stronger and smarter, no.
Yeah.
None of them were
No,
that.
they weren't.
Or either that or Jasper's training camp was actually just really, really good.
It's probably Jasper's
You know what?
training camp.
They
We're probably
never
not giving
turned their
Jasper
back.
enough credit.
They probably never turned their back to the enemy. I bet you that's what it was. That's
no,
what
they
got
did not.
them. It's so dumb.
The whole logic is so stupid. So at the end of the battle, though, we have some visitors who took a red-eye flight. They were hanging out in Seattle for a while.
Oh, yeah, because the riders
They've
were like...
made it to Forks.
They were like, we got to incorporate this somehow. The Voltaire. They just decided to show up. They're like, oh,
the
Voltaire.
Volturi. Yeah, it's Volturi.
And they show up in their traditional gear. And they're like, we heard some mischief was going on. We're the king of the vampires. Looks like we came too late. So, you know what? No harm, no foul. We're going to go back to Italy. Bye. So they just make a little cameo just to let you know that the story is still somewhere in this universe.
Yeah, and it's like they showed up. We skipped over it, but they also showed up because they've got eyes and ears everywhere. The Volturi. So they showed up just for a brief second to to watch the beginnings of the newborn army in Seattle just from the shadows. But if you think about this logic, if you want to try to think about it, they flew from Italy in their full Volturi gowns, their full Volturi medallions, which are huge V's, gold V's, flew on like a red-eye flight, got to Seattle, hung out in the shadows of Seattle for a while, watching the newborn army form, then somehow got to Forks from there. Did they run? Did they go through the water? How did they get from Forks to there? We don't know. So they now show up in Forks just to be like, oh, hey, guess we missed the battle. Too bad for us.
But we did see it coming, so sorry.
But we didn't know what was going to happen, but we didn't do anything. Like, it's just so stupid. It's stupid.
It's just the writers trying to put it all in a bow because it's just like the storylines got way too out there and you literally forget about half this shit. Like Victoria didn't even pop up in the last movie. I think she popped up like one time. So you'd literally forget about her and what she's doing.
She kills a person and she has a chase scene in Forks.
It's really ridiculous. But they do make a little cameo and they're like, okay, well, you guys got this taken care of. We're going to head back to Italy. No harm, no foul. We still have eyes and ears on you and tell Alice to stop spying on us. Bye.
And there's this brief moment of like, you realize that Dakota Fanning's particular character in the Volturi knew that Victoria was out of control and chose not to stop her. So you're like, what was her motivation for not putting a stop to that conspicuous newborn army that was happening
and I'm also
in Seattle?
Like, I don't care what her motivation is. Nobody knows what motivations are anymore. So after this whole battle of nonsense, Jacob was the only, and I can't even say casualty, it doesn't really show what really happened to him. He's just laying in a bed, like in that classic, very sweaty, very tan, very close up. And I'm assuming he's hurt pretty bad because he's kind of doing this. So he's like, oh, he got punched pretty hard by a vamp. Maybe Forks Boy really... He was stronger, faster. And he just tries one last time. Like, it's almost the end of the movie. The whole thing has come to this climax. And he's like, I still think I would be pretty good for you. Like, I'd be really easy. It would be like breathing. I want to imprint on your face. I want you to imprint on my face. Like, maybe let's give this one more chance. And Bella's like, thank you so much for protecting me and going out of your way.
Sorry that I led you on and said,
I'm just a
please
crazy
kiss
girl.
me just so
I'm not
you
good
would
for you.
protect me.
I'm not good for you. I'm too crazy.
I do appreciate the wolf charm, though. I
do appreciate the wolf charm.
To wear that.
Hey, look. Actually, Edward got me a little charm too. And she pulls up her little bracelet. No, she doesn't, but it'd be so funny because Edward does get her another little charm.
He does. He gets so jealous that he's like, well, I need a charm on your bracelet too. And he makes her like little crystal heart.
It's
and
a little
I'm
vampire
like, Edward,
teeth. Little vampire teeth next to her little werewolf. It'd be so
like
funny. She's like
teeth.
always has she collects little Pandora charms from everybody. She's got, little Civil War charm, a little gun, little doctor charm from
a little special. So she's like, I'm so sorry that I led you on, but I do appreciate your protection. I'm still actually going to choose Edward. I hope you get better. I hope you feel on top of your game soon and that you are full werewolf in no time flat. But I have to go meet Edward in a field of flowers.
Yep, and that's what she does. And she meets Edward in a field of flowers, and all I wrote in my notes was Bella's stupid fucking manifesto, which because she's giving this speech to Edward, and it's just, oh, God. Roll the clip.
This wasn't a choice between you and Jacob. It was between who I should be and who I am. I've always felt out of step. Like literally stumbling through my life. I've never felt normal. Because I'm not normal. I don't want to be. I've had to face death and loss and pain in your world, but I've also never felt stronger. Like more real, more myself.
Well, there you have it.
When we say she's not like other girls, she truly isn't. She just never felt at home with other girls. And she's just like making her way through life, just stumbling into bookstores.
So she needs to be a vampire. That's why she needs to be a vampire. She's
just
so
make
cool.
me a vampire.
I know, and you're like, okay, so you felt a little bit like outcasty, but everybody wants your poon. Everybody in the whole, you're queen of
I know.
everything.
How are
but
you an
feel
outcast
so
when you are worshipped by everyone?
You literally had a sacred pact of hatred between werewolves and vampires broken to protect you from another group of vampires that were specifically raised to kill you because your poon is so great. And you feel like left out, right? You're just, it's so fucking stupid. You were.
Like, in what world are you not loved and adored and worshipped by everyone? The Cullens literally were like, you are family. Like, the first Italian dinner she comes for, they're like, we will die for you.
Alice literally jumped over a school railing to give you a birthday gift. She was so excited.
They learned how to make Italian food for her. Like,
everybody loves you. They wrote a page in the school newspaper when you arrived. Someone built you a fucking truck before you even moved. And you're just like, I know, so I don't fit in. Nobody likes me. I'm just a weirdo.
Yeah.
God.
All the boys want to date her.
Every boy.
And people warn her. Like, we kind of talked about this through the whole movie, but people are like, listen, you're only 18. Your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed.
No, it's
you do not know what you want.
At all.
And I'm telling you, as a person who lived a little bit longer than you did when I was a human and now has lived for a very long time as a vampire, you don't want to do this. We don't get to have families. We don't get to just relax and grow old with the person we love. There's no more possibilities for us. Like, we're locked into vampire land, my friend, and you don't want to do that. And the whole time she's just like, nope, I want Edward. I want Edward more than anything. I want Edward more than anything.
You live eternally, and the only way you can die is to get your head cut off and your body burned. Like, that is a lot, girl. Think about it. Think about it.
She says at one point, he's like, I want to come protect you for this battle. And she's like, well, I can't ask you to separate from your family. And I'm like, but he's like, you're separating from your family to become a vampire. Like, you're acting like you're asking him to do this thing that's crazy.
Last movie, he went to Italy and lived by himself. He already separated from his family.
They're also not even real family. They're adopted family, and they're all full-grown adults that are living together, so it doesn't even fucking matter. God, it's so stupid. She's like, I wouldn't dare ask you to separate from your family. Yes, I have to separate from mine and say goodbye to everyone I know and love to be a vampire, but like, don't you dare separate from the people you voluntarily live with because you're 109 years old. Like, it's, what is happening?
You know what? Let's just be happy for her. Let's just be happy for him.
You know what? Congratulations. Let's have a bridal shower. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
I love it.
It's
Congratulations, Bella. We'll see you next
good
movie.
job. We'll see you at Breaking Dawn Part 1.